Lux your way with the Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. There's the classic $5 box, the indulgent $7 box, and a whole new obsession in the $9 box, the flaming hot grilled cheese burrito. Try the Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell today.
Find your sun with Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Cold, refreshing, and made for moments like these all year long. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
How's your day going?
Going good. Thank you. Yes.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
Really, guys?
What? Jackson's always has those game ready.
Let's go!
Hey Bronco Nation, this is Boise State football wide receiver Ben Ford. I've had to face some setbacks on the field this past season, but toughness isn't about staying down. It's about getting back up. I am proud to represent Lithia Ford of Boise, where you can find the largest selection of Ford trucks that are built tough and, like me, handle the hits and keep pushing forward. Come check out the incredible inventory and competitive pricing at Lithia Ford of Boise. And when you buy here, you're not just getting a truck, you're supporting Boise State athletics and Lithia Ford NIL partnerships. Come see us at Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live is the only daily show that talks nothing but Boise State sports. And we do it with you. Give us your comments or questions in the ICCU YouTube chat. Or leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox at speakpipe.com/BNN. BNN broadcasts come from the Sun Cruiser Studios. Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. Crack open a Sun Cruiser and let the good times cruise. Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise, and our major sponsors, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, rowpaint.com, and the Blue and Orange store. At Lithia Ford of Boise, we're proud to stand with Boise State athletics. Through our NIL marketing partnerships, we're investing in the future of student athletes. Lithia Ford of Boise, here to get you there, wherever that may be. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho. Broadcasting from the Sun Cruiser Studios, here's BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Bronco Nation? Happy Tuesday to you here at BNN. Our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise. That newer pre-owned vehicle, never a better time. Get out to Lithia Ford of Boise, lithiafordboise.com. We are in the Sun Cruiser studios. Pick up a Sun Cruiser ahead of the game tonight. They sell them there at the James, right across from the from Albertson Stadium. They sell them at Ridley's. They sell them at Jackson's. Pick up some Sun Cruisers, enjoy those, and get ready for senior night tonight. My name is BJ Rains, and this is Bronco Nation News Live. We do it each and every morning at 9 a.m., talking nothing but Boise State sports. We go 45 minutes to an hour or so, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. We give you exclusive pregame shows, postgame shows. We are live on location from pretty much every basketball game, every football game, showing you warm-ups, showing you pregame news, interviews, things like that, live postgame interviews. So we'll be at Extra Mile Arena tonight, going live about 6 o'clock for the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show ahead of the senior night matchup, Boise State and San Diego State. The Aztecs arriving in Boise yesterday evening. They've lost 3 of 4. They're struggling a little bit, and Boise State trying to improve their seed for the conference tournament, trying to continue to kind of build some momentum as they head down to Vegas next week. San Diego State listed as the first or second team out of the NCAA tournament on a lot of brackets and things like that. So big game for San Diego State as they try to hang on to a spot in the NCAA tournament. Boise State, as I said, not playing for the postseason in that sense of any kind of at-large berth, but certainly trying to build some momentum as they get ready to head to Las Vegas. Bronco 130 starting us off. Maybe you should warm up some Sun Cruiser tea with honey. Yeah, got a little bit of a cold, folks, and I'm riding solo today too. So not the perfect day to be riding solo, but gonna push through. May need to get some soup and some Sun Cruiser tea with honey would be perfect right about now. But we'll battle through and apologize if the voice isn't perfect today. But dealing with a little bit of a cold, and we will push through today. We are going to hear from Leon Rice. We're going to hear from Javin Buchanan. They'll bail me out a little bit as we hear from both of them ahead of the game tonight. Watching from Minnesota, always appreciate you, Billy. Tonight will be a blast. Let's go. They're approaching a sellout. There were less than 400 tickets available as of yesterday, so there's been a lot of talk this year about the attendance, the crowd, and maybe hasn't been the best year for students and things like that. But senior night against San Diego State, a lot of those tickets were probably purchased way back before the season started or early on, and so it's a name opponent. It's a 7 o'clock game. It's a Tuesday night. It should be the best crowd of the year tonight, so it's going to be a lot of fun. I've always said it, the X, when the X is full and rocking and you get a good opponent in there, it's as good as any arena in the Mountain West. And tonight, hopefully, will be one of those nights. If they can push it over, if you're on the fence about going, not very many tickets left. So be a part of what should be a fun atmosphere tonight. And as I said, San Diego State, they're reeling a little bit, just lost on Saturday in Albuquerque. And they come up kind of fighting for their lives. They're going to be desperate. Boise State's won 3 in a row trying to keep this rolling. And how about this? Our friends at Circa Sports have Boise State as a 1-point favorite. Just checked right before the show. Boise State favored tonight at home against San Diego State by 1 point. Did not see that coming, but I did because Ken Palm also had it as a 1-point Boise State win, but still crazy when you think about it. A lot of people on here are calling for coaching changes and saying it's been the worst Boise State season, in decades and all this stuff. And here they are favored over a San Diego State team that a lot of people, think is some great team and is trying to fight for the NCAA tournament. So Boise State with a chance to pick up a signature win, but more importantly, get 4 wins in a row and head to Colorado State on Saturday, trying to make it 5 in a row as they head into the conference tournament. Let's see. Tater Tom need to be loud tonight. Bronco Nation need that number 6 seed. And yeah, there's a big difference between the 6 seed, the 7 seed, and the 8 seed. If Boise State can go 2-0 this week, I think they're assured of getting that 6 seed. And that would be big because you really don't want to have Utah State on your side of the bracket. You don't want to have Grand Canyon on your side of the bracket. And I know the 6 seed stinks with the times. It's the last game of the day every day. And so you're talking Boise time like 9:30 at night on Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. But you get an easier first-round game against San Jose, and then you would theoretically get New Mexico maybe in the second game in the quarterfinals on Thursday, who you've already beaten twice, and that's a game you could win. And then you would get a San Diego State team maybe in the semifinals, who you've already shown that you can play with going to triple overtime, and we'll see what happens tonight. So I think there's a lot of different scenarios in play. You want to finish as high as you can, and certainly I think Boise State would much prefer the 6 seed than the 8-9 seed. The times are better for the 8-9, but not playing Utah State in the first game. Not sure that makes would make anybody feel good about that. Anybody know if the tip is right at 7, or is that when the senior night ceremony starts? They do the senior night stuff kind of before the introductions and all that. I would guess the senior night stuff would start around 7. It's CBS Sports Network tonight, so I think the tip-off is set for 7:10. It could be 7:15 if it gets pushed back 5 minutes, but I would be in your seats if you can by like 6:45 just to be sure. 6:45-ish, I would say, to be in your seats. But I would guess that the actual tip-off of the game is probably around 7:10 on CBS Sports Network because they'll have a game before that. So annual giving day today for the Broncos. If you can donate, please do. All right. Nathaniel says, good morning. It's game day time for revenge tonight. Last home game with the Mountain West logo on the hardwood. He's also, that is a big storyline. The last home game with the Mountain West logo. They're going to sand that baby off and throw that Pac-12 logo on there before next season. So that'll be something we'll be talking about tonight on the pregame show. Is there going to be a BNN bash at Stadium Swim next week? We'll see. We'll see, Nathaniel. I'm trying to wait till I find out what seed they are and what time they play. But the fact that they have to play on Wednesday makes things a little tougher. And the fact that you can't really plan something for like Friday, not knowing if you can count on them to be playing on Friday night in the semifinals. So doesn't seem like the biggest interest in fans this year and going down for the tournament. So I don't know what the kind of attendance would be if we did a thing like that. So I don't know yet. I will try if we can, but I just, until we find out the seedings and what it looks like, I don't have any answer for you at this point. But Nathaniel, if you want to come over to Circa, I'll buy you a beer at some point. How about that? Anybody that wants to meet up at Circa at the overhang bar or something, I'll buy you a beer at some point. But I'm not sure if I'm going to organize a whole big event and then hope people show up if we're not sure how many people are really excited or going down to the tournament. So Larry, a New Mexico fan, good morning from Albuquerque. Larry, you guys got a big one, I believe, tomorrow night, right, against Colorado State. So that and Boise State fans will be watching that because Colorado State, obviously, who Boise State plays on Saturday. So that's the only game in the Mountain West tomorrow night, I believe. There's 5 games tonight. San Jose State at Fresno State as we check our Signature Roofing scoreboard update. San Jose State at Fresno State is at 7 o'clock on the Mountain West Network. You got San Diego State at Boise State, CBS Sports Network. Grand Canyon is at Air Force. So of the 3 o'clock of the 3 early games, not a lot of drama or interest in those, except for the other than the San Diego State Boise State game. And then 8 o'clock is Nevada at Wyoming. That's an interesting game. And then you have Utah State at UNLV is the other interesting one. And if I'm guessing, that's where Heinz Anderson's probably going to be. I saw he's a top 10 ref at Ken Palm. You guys probably know who he is. He's an African-American official who always has the really high knees as he's running down the court. He's a Big Ten guy, does a lot of big games. He was in Tucson last night for the big Monday game. So if he stays out west, I was wondering if there's a chance he'd be in Boise tonight. But I'm guessing maybe he just flies over to Las Vegas and does the Utah State UNLV game, if I had to guess. But maybe we get Heinz Anderson in Boise tonight. Who knows? But, and then tomorrow night, the only game is that Colorado State at New Mexico game, and that's an 8 o'clock game on the CBS Sports Network tomorrow night. And that is the Signature Roofing scoreboard updates brought to you by Signature Roofing online at mysignatureroofing.com. Whether it's a re-roof, repair, an estimate, or an inspection, check out all your roofing needs at mysignatureroofing.com. Got to get the fans engaged early. Can't fall down 10-0. Yeah, that has been a problem at times this season, especially at home, falling behind early. So you'd like to get the crowd into it early, dunk, a 3, hit some shots early. And I am very curious what the student section is going to look like. Fuller says, sure hope the students actually show up. You would think, one game, last game of the season, San Diego State could be awful, but they carry a name recognition with them. So, this isn't your typical top 15 ranked San Diego State team, but it's a solid, dangerous San Diego State team that's, pushing for a spot in the tournament. So I would think that their name recognition would have folks excited and wanting to come to that. And so, yeah, hopefully they will have an exciting, time and actually show up. We'll see. If you see John Buchanan in the stands, thank him. And speaking of which, there he is. Mom and I watching from Boise. See y'all soon. Go Broncos. John, I sent you a message on Instagram trying to get you to come on the show tonight. So reach back out to me, John. We'd love to have you come over if you can get there early enough before all the senior day stuff. We'd love to hear from you on the pregame show. If you can make it, reach back out to me on Instagram. We would love to get John Buchanan on the pregame show so folks can hear from him ahead of senior night. So cool that John is in Boise and getting to be here. We talked to Javan. We'll hear from him in a few minutes here. We got Let's Go Broncos. Hard Rock had us at minus 1.5. Yeah, 1.5, something like that right now. Plan to get there all the earlier for the festivities. Yeah, I wouldn't mess around. Tater Tom said, booked my flights for Vegas. Should be the busiest tournament yet. Yeah, I mean, it's in some ways it's a more exciting tournament because it's not like Boise State is already locked into the NCAA tournament regardless of what happens. It's like, no, you have to win this tournament. So if I were a fan, there's almost more reason to want to go this year because it's a team that looks like they could win a few games and be dangerous, but they're going to have to do that if they want to find a way to get into the tournament. We're big Aggie fans tonight. Yeah, UNLV losing would help the spot for the 6th seed. You got to root for Utah State tonight to beat UNLV. If UNLV loses, Boise State wins. That helps in terms of getting that 6th seed in the tournament. No doubt about it. Interesting line in Laramie. I'm going to check my Circa Sports app again while we're on here. I'm guessing that Wyoming is either favored or the Grand Canyon line is 20, by the way, against Air Force. Wow. Pick'em. Circa has it as a pick'em right now. Nevada at Wyoming is a pick'em. How about that? That is interesting, but I was expecting that would be the case just because it's tough to go play in Laramie. And let's see. Greek night at the game. Should have some of the frats out there, hopefully. All right, that would help. Student section won't be good. I got faith. Tonight that for one game they're going to be able to get him to show up. Will Tom Moser be in Vegas? That was the plan. I was trying to get him down there, offered to pay for his flight and his hotel, and we were going to do shows in Vegas, but he's got a young kid, and they had trouble finding childcare with his wife, who works also, and they couldn't make it happen. So unfortunately, Tom Moser will not be able to be in Las Vegas for the conference tournament, but we're going to make plans ahead of time. In some form of this show next year, we're going to have a Pac-12, Mountain West. I don't know what we're going to do yet, but I'm going to get Tom, hopefully, like Pac-12 basketball media days to do shows there and talk to all the coaches, and then plan to try to get into the Pac-12 tournament next year. But Tom wanted to come. I wanted him to come, but family comes first, and he just could not find childcare to help out with his wife for their young kid and just couldn't make it work this year. So he was pretty bummed. We waited till the last possible minute to try to make it happen, but finally last week he just decided he couldn't pull it off. So that is disappointing, but he'll still do a great job hosting all the shows there from Boise. All right, let's see. Is RJ coming back? So how about this? RJ Keene, and we're going to hear from Leon Rice. He's going to mention this in a minute. RJ Keene is the only player in the Mountain West Conference going through senior night tonight or this week who is going through senior night at the same school he started at. Like Dylan Andrews going through senior night tonight, started at UCLA. Dom Parolin started at Lehigh. Javin Buchanan started, at NAIA school. So RJ Keene is going through senior night tonight. He's the only player in the Mountain West Conference. That just shows you the side of the times. The only player in the entire Mountain West Conference that is going through senior night at his first school, at the only school he started at. I mean, that is just pretty ridiculous when you think about it, and shows you the side of the times with players transferring and things like that. Now, he should have another year, but he has not been approved of it yet. He redshirted his first year, and then he got hurt the next year and missed the first 2 years of his career. So he's played in 3. So given the NCAA and waivers and things, you would hope that RJ Keene does have another year. And he has said in postgame and in interviews earlier this season that he would like to come back to Boise State next year. Who knows what's going to happen with that? But because he is a fifth-year senior, because they're not sure of the waiver, he is going through senior night tonight so he can get that moment with his family. And in case something happens and the NCAA changes the rules and doesn't give him the waiver, then he would miss out on that moment. So he will go through senior night tonight. But the hope is that RJ Keene will get approved of a waiver and will get to come back next season. Women's game tonight. No, I believe the women's game's tomorrow. They're playing UNLV. I believe that's at UNLV. I believe that's tomorrow night for the women's game. And then they're just going to stay down there because, if they win, they get the 2 seed. If they lose, and they might have to play on Saturday in the first round of that game. BNN, by the way, we are going down to Las Vegas on Monday. So if the women's team makes the semifinals, their quarterfinals are on Sunday. Can't make that happen, but BNN is heading down on Monday. So if the women are in the semifinals Monday night, BNN will have full coverage of that, and then we'll have coverage of the championship game on Tuesday for the women ahead of the men starting on Wednesday. So just kind of to plan there. We will have coverage of the women if they reach the semifinals on Monday. That is the plan there. Bouillon is participating in senior night. His only year of eligibility. Maybe now fans won't see an issue with his age. You got 23-year-old freshman, but he's actually a 23-year-old senior. They're trying to get another year of eligibility, I heard, for him, though. They're not sure if that's going to happen or not. But with all these international players, you never know how that always is going to work. But that actually does speak for the program. Keene helps his team in ways that do not show up in the box score. Yeah, 5 years at one place. And again, the only player in the Mountain West Conference to go through senior night this week. Jeff Grammer looked that up at the Albuquerque Journal. So shout out to Jeff for doing the homework on that. But he reached out to me yesterday asking if he was going through senior night. And I said, yeah. And he told me about that stat. And I was like, wow, that's pretty amazing. RJ Keene, the only player in the Mountain West Conference to be going through senior night at his first school. So we're going to hear from Leon Rice in a minute. We're going to hear from Javin Buchanan as well. Keep getting your thoughts in on tonight's game, on the rest of the season. How you feeling about Vegas right now? Are you feeling any better, any worse than earlier in the season? Would a win tonight change anything for you in terms of how you're feeling about this team going down to Vegas? What are your thoughts on tonight's game? Let us know how you'd feel about this game, moving forward here, and if this game actually means anything for you in terms of your excitement or outlook or non-interest in the rest of the season here. And we'll get to those here momentarily. But I do want to thank our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise, online at lithiafordboise.com. Whether it's a new or pre-owned vehicle, Lithia Ford of Boise has you covered. And they got some new 2026s coming in. So that means some great deals on some 2025s right now that have to clear the lot so they can make room. And that means you need to go check lithiafordboise.com. You can view their full inventory, do all your research ahead of time, and then head on into their showroom on Fairview Avenue there in Boise, test drive it, and be on your way in an hour or two. So Lithia Ford of Boise, check them out online, lithiafordboise.com. Sun Cruiser, mentioned perfect night for some Sun Cruisers, whether it's the iced tea vodkas, the lemonade vodkas. Sun Cruiser, get it at your local Jackson's, Ridley's, local gas station, grocery store. Even if you're not a big iced tea fan, I'm telling you, it is delicious, folks. Sun Cruisers, pick one up today. Sun Cruiser, let the good times cruise. Idaho Central Credit Union, they're going to donate $25 for every made free throw tonight on senior night. They donated $425 last game for 17 made free throws. You'd love to see 17 made free throws again tonight. But Pearson Carmichael, not sure if he's going to be able to play. He was listed as questionable on the injury report this morning, but Pearson Carmichael, he's with ICCU, and so is Natalie Pasco on the women's team as well. But there's a branch pretty much on every corner with the easiest, that mobile eBranch online banking right there in your smartphone. Check them out, Idaho Central Credit Union online, ICCU.com. And if the Broncos can get 75 points tonight, you can get a 75-cent fountain drink at Jackson's. That's right, 75-cent fountain drink 2 days later. If the Broncos get 75 points, you just punch in your Let's Go Rewards phone number there into the thing at the front of the checkout. And that'll be on Thursday if they get 75 points tonight, which against San Diego State's defense might be tough. But if the Broncos get 75, you get a 75-cent fountain drink from our friends at Jackson's. We will have the Jackson's post-game show coming up after the game tonight. So make sure you stick around after the game. We'll show you some of the senior night festivities maybe, and looking forward to all the various fun and games that'll come with senior night, and hopefully a night to remember for some of these seniors to get a big win. Get some rest before the game. Yeah. One of those nights where you roll over and it says, 2:05 on the clock. You roll over, it says 2:11. You roll over again, it says 2:14. Like, it was last two nights have been pretty rough, to be honest, just dealing with this cold and not being able to sleep. So we'll push through though. Senior night, big game, and excited, and I guess get it out of the way this week before we go to Vegas next week. It's how I'm looking at it. So pushing through and looking forward to it and be ready to go. Chad Baker-Mazara at USC is 26. Yeah, and I believe, speaking of San Diego State, didn't he either start at San Diego State or he was there at some point and then went to Auburn, went there. He's been all over the place. It is pretty crazy. I'll be arriving in Vegas in a week, Tuesday evening. Well, hopefully you're there in time for the women's championship game. Let's see here. Means a lot because the last Mountain West Conference game at home versus a good rival. Let's go. Every game means something to me. These guys are the best on the court on any given day. Trying to be optimistic with how well the D has been playing, but how many times we're going to buy the win streaks against bad teams only to get blown out against the top. Brad, I mean, there's certainly something to that. By the way, the fan match on KenPom does have this game as the fifth best game of the day in college basketball. You got Alabama at Georgia, Nebraska at UCLA, Kentucky at Texas A&M, BYU at Cincinnati, and then San Diego State at Boise State is the fifth best game of the day. They ranked this as a better game than Clemson at North Carolina, Kansas at Arizona State, Missouri at Oklahoma, Vanderbilt at Mississippi, and on down the line there. Actually, Nevada at Wyoming is like the 12th best game today. So, but I'm looking at Boise State's Ken Palm here. And I would mostly agree with you, but I mean, they did beat Nevada and New Mexico in early February. They have a win over Colorado State, so I get it. This win streak right now, yes, is over San Jose, Wyoming, and Fresno, but they do have wins over Nevada, New Mexico, Colorado State during this stretch. Grand Canyon, Utah State are just not good matchups for them. But Boise State's 9-3 in their last 12 games. I mean, I said it yesterday, but you take out that 4-game stretch, and I'm not making excuses, whatever. It hasn't been a great season. Every game counts. Every game matters. Like it hasn't been a great season. It's been overall a disappointing season for Boise State basketball. I'm not trying to argue that. But if you take out mostly it's a disappointing season because of that 4-game stretch where they lost in triple overtime to San Diego State, got blown out at home against Grand Canyon and Utah State, and then lost at UNLV in overtime without Javin Buchanan and with Dylan Andrews on the bench with cramps. And then you lose again to UNLV in overtime at home in a game that you were up big and blue. So I just look at that 4-game stretch from January 3rd to January 13th, literally 10 days. And if you even go 2-2 in that stretch, you might be on the bubble right now. So it hasn't been a great season, but let's be honest. It's not like they've played poorly all season long. They've just had some stretches where they've played poorly. And that 2-week stretch in early January really kind of did them in. And those games count. Like I said, I'm not saying it's a great season, but by any means. But if that 2-week stretch in early January really is what kind of did them in, because other than that, they started out 9-4 and they're 9-3 in their last 12 games. So overall, the record isn't what you hope or wanted it to be, but a lot of it is because of that 4-game stretch. And if they could have just won 2 of those games and beaten San Diego State, who knows what happens in some of the other games. So I know you can't do the what ifs and all that, but it's not like Boise State has played bad all season long. They've been up and down, and right now they're trending up, and you hope they can win tonight and then beat Colorado State on the road and have a 5-game winning streak going into the conference tournament. So, I agree. The Hawaii Pacific game certainly was a rough one, and that should have kind of told us all we needed to know in the first game of the season. That was kind of set the tone for what was going to be an up and down year. No doubt about it. Keep getting those comments in. Keep getting those questions in. Let's hear a little bit from Leon Rice, Boise State head coach, ahead of senior night tonight against San Diego State.
Unique where you've only had him for a couple of years here. Now Keene has been thrown in there, but does Keene have another year, by the way? Or
Not yet. Okay. There's an appeals process, and because he redshirted and then he got hurt, so you have to get him.
I need to turn your volume up a little bit here. Sorry, folks.
Kind of unique, where you typically have guys like Keene or Max or who at Tyson for 5-6 years. What's that like for you nowadays?
Well, I think our program's unique in the fact that even though, like some of DA, we've had him for 1, I think he really feels like this is his home, and this program is, means a lot to him already. And even though it hasn't even been a year, it's less than probably 7-8 months, but that's what we strive for. We want them understanding what's behind this program and this community, and these guys have done a great job of embracing all that comes with it. Now, there is, like we always reference like a Tyson or because those guys committed to us young, and so it was a 7-year relationship. That's a lot of equity in a program, but it doesn't mean whether you came here for 8 months or whether you were here for 7 years, you're a Bronco and you're one of ours, and you're one of ours for a lifetime, and that's what this program's about.
You look at Javin now, just what he's become compared to when he first got here, and jumping from D2 to D1. I guess what can you say about the player he's become these last couple of years?
Yeah, and everybody goes through their own challenges and their own things that they have to overcome, and he had a lot of injuries that were like last year. He played through a lot of pain and injuries, and then this year he had the surgery, and then so he just kept getting better and kept working and trusting the process, and that's what high character guys do, and that's certainly when you describe all these seniors, and you were talking about Javin, that's what you're getting, and that's why it doesn't surprise me.
You said he feels as healthy now as he has in a while, and you see his last 3 games, what he's done. Right. You hoping that he's kind of can keep this rolling, be a big piece for a year.
No doubt, he's going to be, no matter what, make or break. He's a huge piece of what we do, and and it's been that way all year long. And so, you know, and that's what it's always about. You got to get all your dudes playing like dudes, and that's, you know, you look at the simple answer of why you can be playing better and why we have been playing better. The dudes are being dudes.
He talked about his journey and just how much he's embraced this place and how much he loves it here. How much have you seen him just grow to love this place, and how much has he grown?
Yeah, and I remember saying something to him at the start of this year. I was like, it's really cool for me to see, because when you recruit a guy, you find out what they're looking for, and you know, if you can deliver that for them. And you know, we live in truth, and if there's something we couldn't deliver on, we tell them in recruiting. But what he wanted, he was coming from a great program and a great culture, and he wanted a place where he could be part of a great culture. And I said to him, I said, it's really neat. You were looking for that, and you became the cornerstone of our culture. And so it really became your team in a lot of ways after 1 year. And that's a testament to who he is.
Was that really what stuck out during the recruiting process? Or?
Toy boat.
Yeah, something like that. You know, just what really stuck out about him when you're trying to recruit him? I'm sure it all came together pretty fast in the portal.
Yeah, it did. But I think he just saw, you know, it checked all the boxes in that way, and the culture piece was a huge part for him, and you know, that's smart, because he knew who he was, and he wouldn't be happy playing basketball, you know, in another situation that wasn't like that.
You talked about, you know, how Idaho is so different from the Midwest where he's lived his entire life. I mean, I know this is something you have to do quite a bit, but trying to convince a player to come so far away from home, how hard is that sometimes?
Well, in the old days, I think it used to be a lot harder. Now, you know, it's just so easy for all these guys to stay in touch. I mean, they all play video games together on headsets, and they're seeing each other and talking to each other every day. And so, and family, same way. I just don't think it's the challenge that it used to be in that aspect. Kids are, you know, a lot different than I mean, you know, the old days, guys never left their state very often. Now that doesn't matter.
3-game win streak. It's been up down here, obviously. But what have you learned about this team that kind of convinces you to, you know, convince the guys that they can make a deep run?
Well, trusting the process and showing up the next day regardless of the results is something that you got to teach guys, because there's going to be, you know, and that's what I always talk about. We got to respond. We got to respond whether we lose, whether we win, whether it's devastating loss, whether it's a, you know, blowout, whatever, whether it's a blowout win, heartbreaking win, or, you know, all the different things that you can experience, to be able to show up that next day and like I said, trust the process and get better and be committed to that, and keep finding ways to get better for your teammates.
Do you think, with that said, like, you look at your season, like that 4-game stretch that kind of started with the triple overtime game against San Diego State, maybe take that out. You guys are even 2-2 in that stretch. You're maybe a tournament team right now. I mean, I know you guys pride yourself on that, but looking back, do you think the emotions of that game maybe carried over after that one to the next couple of games?
Well, it always does, and it's always easier said than done, you know? And it's always a big challenge. For sure it did, absolutely. And, you know, I've gone through you know, I go back to the Colorado State one where we won on the buzzer beater. I mean, that lingered for us, and it was hard. You know, I was trying everything to get moved on, but sometimes those events can create a ripple in the bad way. So you fight for it, and you got to pull yourself out of it, and we eventually did, but it probably did. But again, you know, you can't waste any time of what ifs, and you know that, because it goes both ways over your career, and you just got to kind of keep rolling with it and find a way to be able to shake it off. And like I said, it's easier said than done.
All right, well, there's Leon Rice, and again, I apologize. I hope you could just turn your volume up and hear him okay. I was using a new microphone. Got some new microphones here, and just they're wireless, and just have to figure out might have to increase the volume a little bit before I post those onto YouTube. So apologize for that, but just hope you were able to turn your volume up a little bit, and you'll need to do it again in a minute here when I play Javin Buchanan. But it actually should be better quality sound, because the microphone's right up by his face. You just have to maybe turn up a little louder to hear it better. How much pressure is on Leon tonight? I don't think any more than there has been. Like, I mean, I don't think his job status or anything, changes much. And I don't think there's much pressure on him. I mean, it's no different than it would be. I mean, it's not like he's playing for an at-large bid to the tournament. I mean, if they get to the championship of the Mountain West tournament next week, then yeah, I think you would have to, certainly say there's some pressure to win that game and get to March Madness. But I don't know if tonight's game is any more pressure. Yeah, you must have joined us late, Dylan, dealing with a cold. So dealing with a cold, didn't sleep much, hoping to push through and be there tonight. But you must have come on a little late, but yeah, pushing through. Can't hear Leon. I did the best I could. Sorry. Wish we could hear the questions. It's funny. You can't win sometimes. People say that the quality's not great. So you mic up the coach, to hear him better. And then you can't hear the questions as well. And then you don't mic up the coach so you can hear the questions, but then you can't hear, there's a lot of background noise and you can hear the questions, but then you can't hear the person talking as much. So it's kind of hard to win in this case. We can't mic up all 10 guys asking the questions and the coach. So I'll keep working on it and figuring out what we can do. But we spent, pretty good money, $200 buying these mics here to try to make the quality better of the coach and the person talking, because I've heard from some of you that, there's a lot of background noise and you'd like to focus in on the person talking, and then people complain that you can't hear the questions. So can't win, I guess, but we'll keep trying to figure out the perfect solution here. Yeah, that was really weird. And they could kind of hear Nathan, couldn't hear the post-game show. That was weird. The other night we were bringing them in, through their phone in the arena. And yeah, I asked them again about that yesterday. And Javin's like, I thought, were you guys just messing with us or what? And they're like, no, we couldn't hear you. I mean, they could hear us in the background, but once we brought them in live, I don't know, just some glitch in the system or something. I have no idea what happened there. And apologize again for that we couldn't get Leon and Javin on the post-game show. But yeah, I don't know what was going on with that, to be honest. Speaking of Javin, we're going to hear from him in a minute. If you have your score predictions, any more thoughts on the game tonight, would love to hear those. And we'll roll along here. But I do want to thank a couple more sponsors, including Taco Bell, that make this show free of charge for you to watch here on YouTube. TacoBellWorks.com, SON Management Group, the Nicolason family, whether it's the crunchy chicken strips. I'm gonna butcher it again. The crunchy cantina chicken taco. I don't remember the exact name. I need to get that. I apologize to Taco Bell, but the taco that Johnny Mallory recommends, I had it and it was tremendous. The crunchy chicken cantina taco, I believe it is, or the cantina crunchy chicken taco, truly is a game changer. Go check it out. It was tremendous. TacoBellWorks.com, the SOM Management Group. We appreciate the Nicolason family for their support of BNN. So root for 83 points tonight. If the Broncos get 83 points, you get a free taco tomorrow from our friends at Taco Bell. Take your ticket stub to a Treasure Valley Taco Bell location tomorrow and get that free taco. Hey, you looking for some gear for the game tonight? It is a blue out. Wear your blue tonight. Blue out. And if you need a jersey, t-shirt, sweatshirt, if you need that new gear for the game tonight, go check out the Blue and Orange store online, blueandorangestore.com. You can go to the mall location where they've got 14,000 hats on the hat wall. You can go to the Allen Noble Hall of Fame location, get that customized jersey in minutes. Again, the best Boise State gear, the best selection, the best prices. The official in-venue provider of Boise State merchandise is the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com. Hey, Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate, number one ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher. Appreciate him for his support of BNN. He joined us on the BNN cast the other night. Again, Bauscher Real Estate, number one selling real estate team in the Northwest. We bought and sold our home using Matt and his team. Tremendous customer service every step of the way. Matt Bauscher, highly, highly recommend him, folks. You get to meet everybody in that picture when you buy or sell a home using Matt and his team, because every step of the way, no stone is left unturned. And find out for yourself. Bauscher Real Estate online, BauscherRealEstate.com. Hey, Signature Roofing online at mysignatureroofing.com. Covering our community for more than 2 decades, whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an estimate, or an inspection. Check us out at mysignatureroofing.com. We mentioned the 5 games tonight on the Signature Roofing scoreboard update. Signature Roofing, you can leave us a voicemail, speakpipe.com/BNN. Signature Roofing online at mysignatureroofing.com. All right, we'll check out some of the comments here. Curious why you haven't been getting the opposing coach interviews. It's just been kind of logistics, to be honest. A couple of my interns haven't been able to make every game, and Nathan's been starting the post-game show right away, so there's just some logistics involved it's either wait 30 minutes to start the post-game show and then we can go get that, or it's start the post-game show right away and maybe not get it. It is just kind of, I would like to, I really would. And Brian Dutcher is great. So tonight I will make an effort tonight to get Brian Dutcher. I really will. It's just not that easy sometimes, because usually if I get the opposing coach, that means I miss getting Boise State's players because they're pretty much happening at the right time. So I can get in there for Leon, but I miss the players, and I'd like to get Boise State's players. We cover Boise State, so I would think Boise State's players are more important than the opposing team's coach for interviews. But if I can make it work tonight, I will certainly try to get Brian Dutcher, because he's one of my favorite coaches in the league, and we'll do our best to try to get him. JB helped close that last game out. Yeah, he did. Heck of a second half, 18 points in the second half. If I see you at Cirque on Tuesday evening, I'll buy you a beer. Well, hopefully Tuesday evening I'm covering the women in the Mountain West Championship game. But yes, happy to meet up with anybody. I appreciate all you guys for watching the shows, and would love to meet any of you at Circa next week for the Mountain West tournament. So reach out, email, Twitter, whatever, and happy to try to meet up with you guys if you want to make it over to Circa, because looking forward to having a good time down there next week. Excuse me. Okay, it's the Cantina Chicken Crispy Taco. There we go, Jordan. Got it. Opposing coaches would always lose after an interview. Yeah, there was a little streak to that, I think, at some point. Let's see what else we got here. If you could add one single player to this team, who would it be? And the first answer is prime Derek Marks. Yeah. That was like the Tuesday, Wednesday. Like they'd come on this show here in the morning. They'd come on the morning show and they would lose to Boise State. I think Tyree was talking about the post-game interviews after the game, hearing from the coaches. And unfortunately, it's just a timing thing. They talk at the exact same time as Boise State's players do. Usually you got to pick one or the other. But like I said, I will try to get Brian Dutcher tonight if I can pull it off and get another phone recording the players or something and just show up late, because I like talking to Brian Dutcher, and he's very classy and respectful for Boise State when it comes to that. But all right, let's hear a little bit from Javin Buchanan ahead of his senior night game. Again, I apologize for the audio issues. Turn your volume up. Turn it up so you can hear Javin Buchanan, and we'll be back in a couple minutes. But here's Javin Buchanan ahead of his senior night with Boise State. Interesting, Javin Buchanan told us, and I remembered this, but you put it together. Nevada and Texas Tech were the other two finalists for Javin Buchanan. Think about Texas Tech, Big 12. They had gone to the Elite Eight, I think, the year right before that, and all the money that Texas Tech is throwing. And I was told they threw significantly more money at him to go to Texas Tech. And he went to Texas Tech after he visited Boise State and still committed to Boise State. So I think that should tell you about, how highly regarded Javin Buchanan was and what it says about him that he chose to come to Boise State. But turn your volume up. Here's Javin Buchanan ahead of his senior night tonight.
We're just trying to win. I'm trying to compartmentalize, enjoy the senior night stuff, but obviously we come in to win the game.
What was it? Where else were you? I know we talked about this, but where else were you? I think you visited Nevada. Is that true? Or what were kind of your other finals before you picked Boise State?
Taking a trip down memory lane. It was here, Nevada. Yep, Nevada and Texas Tech.
What was it about here that really attracted you, and has it been everything you've expected?
Yeah, for sure. Just overall, I'm just a really relational person. I value relationships. So when I came here, I could just tell that was a central part of what they do here, is value relationships and value the people. And so that's the main reason, just the people in the program.
Looking back, just kind of what's been the easiest thing about, not easiest, but the thing that hasn't been as hard as you thought would be about transitioning to Division I, and what's been the hardest thing about transitioning to Division I?
You just gotta. It's more demanded of you on a night in, night out basis. But yeah, I don't know the easiest thing. It's basketball still, so it's nothing I know how to do. But just overall, what's expected of you and what you got to give on a night in, night out basis is a lot more.
What percentage of the time at Indiana Wesleyan were you the best player on the floor? It seemed to me that'd be the biggest thing. Every night there's 10 people out there on the court, all pretty good.
Yeah. Depending on the game, but I would like to say I was probably every game. I don't care where I'm at. I'm the best on the court. So that's just how I think. But NAI, there's a ton of talent. There's guys in the Big 12 right now. A lot of other conferences, guy at Oklahoma State that's averaging a lot of points. He was in the same league, not same league, but we played him. So there's a lot of talent there. But yeah, I feel like I'm always one of the best when I play. So
it's been a journey What do you think you've learned like the most about yourself over the years playing basketball?
I don't know, that's a good question, man. Like, I don't know, that is just bigger than the sport. Like, the amount of people I've got to meet and just overall impact, it just is way more than just basketball. I get to help people and meet people and change people's lives throughout the sport, and it's just a gift. So I would just say that just overall, just like I've learned that it's not just about my stats and stuff, and it's just about how you can impact people's lives through a sport, which is crazy.
The values that you talked about coming here and what they value, how much has that kind of shaped you and changed you as a man?
Yeah, I mean, that's how I live my life. So I just try to align myself with people who kind of do stuff in the same way. And this program, I felt like aligned with my values as a person, and I was right. So.
Yeah, he said last week that he feels bad that maybe fans didn't get to see the full version of you because of injuries and stuff the last couple of years. Like how we've seen your last 3 games here, what you've done. I mean, how are you feeling, and I guess how motivated are you to kind of finish this thing and still go out the right way?
Yeah, I feel great, man. We have everything's ahead of us. Like March is here, and it's called March Madness for a reason. But yeah, I mean, you can't control injuries and any of that stuff. So try not to focus on things you can't control. I mean, in life, you're always gonna have things where you wish things could be different and whatever. But I just think that's part of life, man. And you get what you get, and you just got to make the best of it.
I know everyone says you'll be playing your best ball this time of year. I mean, you guys have won 3 in a row, 9 out of 12. I mean, do you feel like you guys are building something here that can last?
For sure. We just got to keep stacking days. Like today at practice, we got to get better, and then show up tomorrow ready to go.
Just building on that, it's been an up and down journey this season, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, but how much have you guys kind of learned about each other and maybe about the team that'll help you or convince you that you can make a deep run?
Yeah, I mean, I think we can beat anybody on any given night, and we just got to put our best foot forward every night and show up and be who we are, and that's where the belief comes from, because we know who's in the locker room. We just really believe in each other, and I think that's where good teams and great teams that win, they believe in each other, and no matter what anybody else says, they just keep uplifting each other, and I think that's why we got a chance with anybody.
Before coming here, had you ever lived outside of Indiana?
Yeah, I lived in Kansas for like 6 months, like right around COVID, and then I moved back.
What was it, like coming out here and just, obviously being so far from home?
It was hard, and I didn't think I was going to be in Idaho ever in my life, but hey, I mean, it worked out. But yeah, it's been great, man, and I love, like, it's way different than the Midwest in terms of, like, you see mountains, or y'all call them foothills. They're mountains to me, but yeah, just like nature, all that stuff. The summer's here, like my favorite that I've ever been a part of. It's beautiful. I love the way it looks out here. It's just so far. I wish I could move it a little bit closer to the Midwest, but.
Where are you from this way, Eugene?
Wichita, Kansas.
My apologies.
No, you're good. Phew, yeah, it's rough.
But now, my actual question: have you chatted much with DA and Dom just about going into senior night, and I guess what are those conversations like with those guys?
I mean, we just try to approach it like any other game. Like, obviously, it's a lot of emotions and senior, all that stuff, but season's not over, and we just have to win the game. So we're gonna approach it like any other game where we're trying to win the game. So.
The last time you played San Diego State, that triple overtime game, so many kind of back and forth swings and stuff. What stands out to you when you think back to that game?
Oh, that game that's the most overtimes I've ever went into. It's just a physically taxing game, but yeah, I mean, they're a physical team. They play fast. They have some shot makers for sure, and they're super talented. So we just gotta bring our A game.
Do you think that the way that game happened and the 3 overtimes and just the way it went down, did that carry over? You think, because you take out that 4-game losing streak, and you guys have had a great year, and it's that 1-2 week stretch in the middle there. Do you think any of that was carry over from how much you guys put into that game and not being able to win that?
Maybe, I guess, but I mean, it's just like you can't look back on those, because sometimes if you didn't have that stretch, maybe you don't win some of the games that we did end up winning, and I don't know. It's just hard to go back and say, oh, if this didn't happen, then we would have done this. It's just hard to play that game. I'm sure it definitely drained us, like, emotionally, because everyone wanted to win that game badly. But I mean, yeah, thanks. I mean, that happened. So
is there any extra motivation, I guess, just with all some of the calls and things that happened in that game and being so close to having a huge signature win like that? Is that fire you guys up even more for tomorrow? Or?
I mean, yeah, obviously, like, that game was so, like, crazy that everyone's just like, yeah, we gotta get that win back. Like, we deserve that win, but you just gotta show up and do it.
Let's get into that game here in a second. Triple overtime back on January 3rd. What are your thoughts, memories of that game? And certainly Boise State would have been a big win that could have maybe changed the course of the season. You had the issues with the referees and the foul calls and stuff. We'll get to that in a minute. But I do want to thank Element Fencing. Online at elementfencing.com, whether it's decks, pergolas, fences, cedar, wrought iron, vinyl, they can do it all. Element Fencing, 25 plus years in the fencing business. Brady and his staff are ready to help you build that perfect fencing project from the ground up. If you're on the fence about getting that fencing project done, now's the time. Weather's been pretty good this winter. Business is booming right now, and it's your turn. Element Fencing. Online, elementfencing.com. Ridley's Family Markets. I mentioned you can get the Sun Cruisers there. Shop Ridley's.com. They got that CUNA location. Love the Middleton location as well. Star. They've got Treasure Valley, Magic Valley, McCall. You're going to be heading up as the weather starts to warm, doing some stuff up in McCall. The Ridley's there is a perfect spot. So Ridley's Family Markets, again, check them out online at shopridleys.com. Rowpaint.com. 20% off those winter painting projects right now from rowpaint.com. Rowpaint.com, 20% off those winter painting projects, whether it's interior, exterior painting, the concrete coatings, and of course, the Painter for a Day project. Make sure you hit up rowpaint.com. And if you need a new job, how about transportation compliance service? You can get into the trucking industry every step of the way. They'll help you with the paperwork, DOT, all that stuff. Transportation compliance service, complete trucking compliance management, all the paperwork and things. Like I said, they can help you. They're a local company in the Treasure Valley, helping out folks all over the United States at transportation compliance service. All right, and that game, when we're talking about that game, there we go. Sorry about that. That triple overtime game, and somebody said Boise State's had San Diego State's number of late. I mean, Boise State is 7-4 in the last 11 against San Diego State. So I don't know if I'd say they've had their number, but that magical 2022 year where Boise State won the championship, they beat them all 3 times that year. Last year Boise State did beat them in the Mountain West tournament. And then there was another stretch where Boise State won 3 in a row, including a game in overtime down there in 2024 where Max Rice hit that crazy shot from almost half court. And Cam Martin had the putback, I believe, at one point. So there have just been some epic games with San Diego State over the years. And that triple overtime game was one that earlier this season that just gets added near the top of the list. I mean, Jeremiah Oden should have fouled out. They put a foul on the wrong guy. He gets to stay in. And then, of course, hits a three-pointer in the triple overtime when he should have been fouled out of the game. Hits a huge shot with Boise State up, So it is what it is. That was a tough one. You had the AG NATO foul call from the ref under the basket. Had the worst view of the 3. You had, Michael Irving and the other official, the 2 veteran officials had a perfect view of it. They do not make the call. And you had the younger, inexperienced official under the basket for some reason decide to make that call. And the guy slipped, and he calls AG NATO for a 5th foul push. That was a terrible call. You had Andrew Meadow, who at the end of the first overtime, I believe it was, got the ball with 2 seconds left, goes up for like a 3/4 court shot. Clearly, I mean, I know you don't want to blow your whistle in that situation, but clearly the guy comes right, like just absolutely hacks the, bleep out of him as he's trying to heave one from 3/4 court. And, that was a obvious foul as well. Love RJ Keene, but if he, Boise State's up 6 in, was it second overtime maybe? I forget which overtime it was. Boise State's up 6. RJ Keene makes the long pass that gets picked off. They hit the 3, and that leads to them coming back and getting it to another overtime. So, I mean, there were so many opportunities for Boise State to win that game, and they just were not able to do it. And I truly think that kind of carried over to the next couple of games there. I'm not sure they would have beaten Grand Canyon or Utah State, but I don't think they get blown out by 20. And maybe if you're competitive against Grand Canyon, then maybe the Utah State game you're able to win. I don't know. Who knows? But that 2-week stretch where they lost 4 in a row certainly was, I think, started and aided by just the emotional toll that triple overtime game took on them and not winning that game when they had so many chances to win it. So big one tonight. As you heard Javin say, they deserve that win, and they're going to try to get it tonight. And as I said, Circa has them, to me at least, surprisingly, as a 1-point favorite in the game tonight. Max says, I'm going to miss Buchanan. Pray we get him back one more year. He has health with injury, but now he's back playing his best. They can get us to March Madness. Jordan says, love JB becoming a Bronco. Did a pod with a couple guys that covered his old league from a religious lens, and it was a cool listen. He's focused and centered kid. John says, thanks for all the kind words. Really means a lot to us. Yeah. Hey, John, get back to me on Instagram, man. I want to get you on the show tonight. We got RJ Keene's mom coming on at 6:30. But if you can come on at some point, 6:15 maybe, or 6:40 maybe, right after, I don't know what time all the senior day stuff starts. We would love to get you on, John, if you can make it over to our corner where we're doing our pregame show. We can make whatever time works for you, man. So reach out to me. I'll give you my cell number or something. We can try to connect. But I think folks would really love to hear from Mr. Buchanan if we can make that happen tonight on the show. So should be a fun one tonight. Going to be an emotional one, senior night. And again, Boise State, not necessarily playing for the same stuff that San Diego State is, but you're going to get a ticked off, motivated San Diego State team that's lost 3 out of 4, and they can't afford to lose again. But they have lost at Colorado State, at San Diego, or at New Mexico in their last 2 road games. They're hanging on for dear life. First team out, last team in for the tournament. They've got to get a win. This would be a big win for them tonight. Boise State, as I said, just trying to keep the momentum going for the conference tournament. So a lot on the line, and a lot of opportunity for Boise State if they're going to try to get some confidence going here towards the conference tournament. So appreciate all of you for checking out the show. Go support the sponsors, and don't forget tonight, another night in the Mountain West with Tom Moser after the final Mountain West game wraps up, and that game tonight is Utah State at UNLV. An interesting game there. Utah State at UNLV. That game is at 9:00. So we'll be done with our post-game show, and we'll let Tom Moser take over another night in the Mountain West. He'll have recaps of 5 games tonight. And there's 5 games tonight. And Utah State at UNLV is the final game tonight. And Tom Moser will have another night in the Mountain West coming up tonight on Bronco Nation News on our Mountain West BNN channel. Make sure you subscribe to that channel. It's just at Mountain West. Let's see. It's /@ Mountain West BNN @ Mountain West BNN. So subscribe if you can to our new channel, and make sure you join Tom Moser. Come join us for our pregame show, our game coverage, our postgame show. And then when we're done, Tom Moser will have another night in the Mountain West tonight, recapping all 5 games that happened tonight in the Mountain West. So appreciate you guys. Thanks a lot for joining us. Hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday. And we're going to rest up and see you tonight at Extra Mile Arena for senior night. Boise State, San Diego State. Going to be a fun one at the X. Hopefully a big crowd. If you don't have your tickets yet, go get them. Close to a sellout. Not quite there yet, but we'll see if they can get to a sellout. But should be the best crowd of the season. Should be a lot of fun. So we're in the Sun Cruiser studios. Again, go pick up a Sun Cruiser. They've got them at Circa. So if you're going to the Mountain West tournament, I'll buy you a Sun Cruiser at Circa next week. And again, Lithia Ford of Boise is our title sponsor. Check out lithiafordboise.com. lithiafordboise.com for next time you're looking for that new or pre-owned vehicle. So appreciate all you guys for checking us out. We'll see you at Extra Mile Arena tonight. Go check out BroncoNationNews.com. Chris Van Sickle's got some recruiting coverage on there. We got a lot of great coverage at BroncoNationNews.com. But go check it out, BroncoNationNews.com. And you can subscribe for 50% off the annual rate right now with our special going on. So we'll see you tonight, Extra Mile Arena, big one at the X, Boise State, San Diego State, senior night. We have you covered as always at Bronco Nation News and online, BroncoNationNews.com. See you tonight, folks.